Hi, my name is Kristin Poole, and I am the co-executive director of the Sun Valley Center for the Arts. I have the good fortune of being the curator of this exhibition, or exhibitions. There were a series of key artists who were working in the American West at the end of the 19th century who really sort of set the stage for a whole body of contemporary photographers. And one of those people was a man named Timothy O'Sullivan, who came west and was part of an expedition to photograph what the American West looked like. And as a part of an expedition that he did in 1868. And O'Sullivan's, the way he documented the falls, the way he documented the West, led to sort of hoopla and enthusiasm about what was happening at this moment in the West. And here, all of a sudden, had been a discovery about this incredibly gorgeous body of water that was bigger and grander and mightier than the Niagara Falls that had already been discovered. Thomas Joshua Cooper was so inspired by what he saw in Timothy O'Sullivan's work that he decided to make his own expedition to Shoshone Falls in 2003. And what he saw was remarkably different. When O'Sullivan was there, the falls were not impeded by dams. There was an enormous body of water that was cascading over the falls that you see reflected in the historic photograph in this exhibition. When Cooper came, these photographs, these beautiful black and white photographs that Cooper did, tell a very different story. Primarily really less about the mighty power of water and the great new sort of drama of the American West than they are about stillness and about light and about rock formation and about what a really fine photographer can see and find in a landscape place. The next place we went when we were thinking about how do we do Shoshone Falls justice, a man named Peter DeLory, who I worked with when I first came to Sun Valley. While he was here, he of course went and visited Shoshone Falls, took a number of photographs of the falls during that time period and since. And subsequently, his most recent body of work in the last 2 years has been about other falls and places where water is cascading in the American West, mostly in the American West. There's a couple of images from the East. And there is sort of two different pieces of it. There are gorgeous carbon print photos, large format images that Peter did of falls throughout the West, some of which people will recognize and some of which people may never have seen before. And they're in weird places. Some of them are in national parks, some of them are in state parks, some of them are right off the freeway. And in part, that's part of Peter's dialogue, that on one view of a particular fall, you get this really gorgeous, specific, classic view, and then you realize when you turn around that you see it right off of an interstate freeway. Third body of work is one that can't be ignored. When you walk into our space, you get immediately confronted with this enormous and powerful installation. Stephen Oigan and Wade Cavanaugh, who have independent art practices, but for the last 2 years have been working together from time to time to really explore physical structures of place and the geography of places. They got here and spent 4 days quite actively working in the gallery. This is not meant to be sort of a literal interpretation of what they saw there, but more of a response, using these really twisted and taut ropes of paper, the bigger, wider, crumpled sheets of paper, and then the twisted and turned forms that they make to talk about the falls. This space transformed probably 6, 8, 10 times. And they installed it and ripped it out, and installed it and ripped it out. And this is their dialogue. This is how they work together. It's how they sort of exercise what they want to express in their drawing through the use of this paper. And it was fascinating to watch the process. This is the end product, and it's a wonderful end product. It's an incredible thing to experience, looking at it from away from perspective in the gallery is one view, getting at the side of it is another view, getting underneath it is an entirely different experience. It's unique when you have an opportunity to look at a place that you're familiar with through other people's eyes.